We are clear and put our line on the table. Please, Mr. Prime Minister, just sitting in here listening to insults and snaps and barbs being traded and personal insults being made, it always leaves out the actual human people's realities who are at the centre of the violence of an illegal war, and those real lives and the harm on them is quickly forgotten in a tit-for-tat political debate. And I abhor that, Mr. Speaker. Aotearoa has a long-standing pride in history in honouring the sanctity of life, and not just the sanctity of some lives, but the sanctity of all life. And so, yes, I acknowledge that the statement that has been put out by the government to condemn in the strongest terms the recent attacks by Iran absolutely is heinous in what it has left out. How can we pretend to normalise not just the illegal attack by the US and Israel on Iran, but the fact that we are going to normalise and tolerate powerful men playing war games and then not call that out, and then try and normalise it as if it's okay? Even if the current Foreign Affairs Minister is trying to say, oh no, we are just protecting our words and our language and being mindful, actually the impact of not calling that out is normalising war games being played by men in power and impacting and violating and creating chaos and destruction upon people who had absolutely no part in any of the decisions made. Now, Mr. Speaker, the United States' illegal and unprovoked war in Iran deserved a statement from the Prime Minister, just as we have seen a statement from the Prime Minister on the attack by Iran. And we didn't even get a statement despite, for example, the 100 schoolgirls lost, civilians lost in targeting by the US. No statement whatsoever on those real lives, and there are so many more lives than just those who were lost to us. So, yep, the Greens absolutely will continue to be consistent in wanting us at least to be honest about whose lives are being honoured here, whose lives are being said to have value here. We posed to the Prime Minister some solutions that he could even take up. For example, a blanket extension to visas by all those whose lives have been impacted and who have people here in Aotearoa experiencing that fear and insecurity right now. There was no leadership to be able to take up that offer. In fact, he has had to correct himself at least twice because he doesn't even know what his own ministries are doing to provide some practical support to the very people who are living under stress and fear right now. So, Mr. Speaker, I do deplore the lack of leadership that has not been given the same sort of attention that this statement gives to the attacks by Iran. That's a quote. This statement is giving attention to only one lot of attacks, and it ignores the fact that the original sin of the illegal and unprovoked war was actually caused by the US and by Israel. And that has been clearly put by independent scholars in foreign and international and human rights law across the world. Mr. President in the USA has even had his own war table members resign because they themselves know that this decision was made unilaterally. There was no provocation, that there was no chat with the Security Council even, and that it would only lead to further destruction and chaos. So we are clear and put our line on the table. Please, Mr. Prime Minister, offer up some actual leadership and offer a statement condemning also the illegal and unprovoked attacks.